I want to say this with all due respect. I just got done watching The Black Godfather, and it made me think of you
I love that.
because
That was a great doc.
yeah,
Great
and
doc.
I feel like it is a skill being that bridge. And at least in my eyes, no one has had that role quite like you.
Mhm.
Do you feel like being that bridge is a skill that you've somewhat mastered?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I did it. I did it not trying to do it. It just kind of came naturally. I noticed early in my career, like, okay, I played instruments. I love music, but I'm not the best musician. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that, like, when I step into the room, sometimes I'm not the most intelligent. You know what I'm saying? But what I do know how to do is talk to people, and talk to people in a way to make them comfortable. And all I've ever tried to do was play my part in helping people that I believed in go to the next level in their career. Because my skill set ain't like the typical skill set where it's just like, oh, well, he's really good at a PowerPoint. He's really good at this, that, and the third. I just was just a void filler, you know what I'm saying? And I just wired like that. Like, if God forbid you got sick right now, you couldn't do this interview with someone, I feel like I could step in and do your job and like still make it happen. And so when I would see artists and see people I believed in, I wasn't doing it from a I'm trying to be down. It was one of those things where I'm like, yo, I fuck with what you got going on. I'm from Chicago. You got to come through Chicago. So if you need anything, I'm here. And that's how it was. That's how I built, my relationship with Big Sean and Wale and J. Cole. They just know, like, Chicago, hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to burn Big Sean CDs. Like, he would come to Chicago. He'd be like, yo, can you burn the Finally Famous CD? And I would, like, burn it for him and stuff like that. Wale, when he needed, he really wanted to become, he really loved Chicago and really respected our fly. And
Except Harold's.
you said what?
I said, except Harold's. You don't like Harold's.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a fried chicken guy. Like, he's a funny eating dude, and he made that line. Like, me and him argued over that line before, but no, it was just like he respected that. He knew that if there was one market out of Chicago, outside of DC, that would understand him, is Chicago. And so that was his mission. His mission was like, yo, um, I want to be respected in Chicago, and he was always like that. And I became kind of like that bridge for him in Chicago, the validity of it. Like, he's Wale, but Hustle, who's respected in Chicago, I was really his street team here. Like, yo, I was taking Wale to Club Lumen when they weren't even letting black people in the club. Like, you know what I'm saying? We was performing at Derrick Rose's birthday party at Vibe back in the day. Like, we were just, I just had him in all the places that he needed to be in Chicago to, get his name out. But that's what I've always been able to do, like, get through those doors and bring the artists and the people that I believe in with me. So I never looked at it as a skill set or art until probably like the last couple of years, when I'm like, okay. And then, watching, the Godfather, Black Godfather documentary, I was really blown away by it, because I knew about him, but I didn't know about him like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was things that he's done that validated what I was thinking. Like, oh, okay, I wasn't tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think we need to see more stories like that. And there's a few people in the industry like him who make some things move that don't get necessarily like the shine. So I don't do it for the shine. I just do it because I'm part of the culture. I love the culture, and it just worked out for me in my favor.
Well, I hope that this interview will be part of your Netflix documentary one day. Um,
No doubt.
Welcome to HomeGrown The Series. I'm your host, Emmanuel Davis, and I have the pleasure of introducing Terrence Hustle Simmons Randolph.
Went
He's one
out.
of Chicago's finest. He's a kid from the West Side that's trying to make his impact in the world. Hustle, welcome to HomeGrown The Series.
Man, thanks for having me.
No
Yeah,
problem, man. So before the liquor endorsements, before becoming a brand ambassador, before the hustle paloozas, you wanted to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Is that how
Well, my
far
mom
did
wanted
you
me to be a
get?
doctor.
Your mom wanted you to be a doctor.
Yeah.
So you could have been Dr. Randolph?
Yeah. My mom, she was a nurse for years, and when I was coming out of high school, I had a couple of choices. So I could have went to DeVry to be I was Cisco certified in building networks and stuff like that. I took a college course during high school because I was testing high in my state test, and so I could have went to DeVry and did this class for one more year, then I would have made like $80,000 come like running network. Cause that's when like the social media and the internet was really taking off. My
Mm-hmm.
second option was to go to Norfolk University and walk
VA.
and play football. So I had that chance. And then my third option was going to DePaul um, to do computer science. But then I had got a partial, and then I switched to bio, and my mom wanted me to be a sports doctor. But what happened was she would have me like go job shadow like certain like doctors and people that she knew,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like blood, and I was just like, nah. And then I was at the pause, so I was partying, I was kicking it, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, man, I don't want to be somebody's doctor because I've been drinking
Okay.
Jaeger bombs and stuff all night and stuff like that. So I gave that up, and then
Started working for Adidas, right?
no, like right after that, I left DePaul and I started going to Harold Washington. I was working at UPS. I went to Harold Washington Community College to like get through my prereqs. And while I was there, I got a job working for Nike. I got hired downtown in Nike Town, and right when I was starting, they moved me to the outlet to open up the outlet in Aurora. But then they seen something in me, and they was kicking off this program called Live Strong with Lance Armstrong
That's Armstrong.
with the rubber bands, and
Mm-hmm.
they made me a part of that. But in that process, I had a teacher named Mr. Daniels, Jeffrey Daniels, super cool. I actually just talked to him on Facebook for the first time in like 10 plus years the other day, who was a sneakerhead, and he really helped me because English always been like my worst subject. I've always been good at math, science, history, but he really sat down with me and like really like talked to me on my level to get me to understand English and like, going to that next step. And then I was dating a girl, and she was going to school for fashion design, and she was just like, yo, like, you fly, you like business, you should come to the Art Institute with me. And I was like, she's like, nah, you should. And literally I started going to the Art Institute, and that's when everything kind of like kind of slowly began to take off. I kind of started like finding my rhythm, because coming from a party school like DePaul and going to an art school is like night and day. So it's like these kids didn't have nothing to do after class. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing? Anybody going to the bar? They was like, no, I'm about to go paint. I'm about to go sew clothes. I'm like, what?
I'm about to go tag.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was like, oh, let me throw a party. And right at that particular time, I got recruited by Adidas to come work at the Adidas store when it was on Rush Street. And a guy by the name of John Gracie, shout out to John Gracie, he told me, he was like, yo, work here. We can't pay you as much as Nike, but I help you get a marketing position. And he started letting me do the marketing for the store, and that was kind of like my introduction to it, while still going to college and learning it. And yeah, man, I started throwing events with Adidas and started throwing parties, and I was finding talent amongst my friends, cool kids, and I found Wale on MySpace talking about sneakers, and that's kind of kicked it off. And then I had a homie Ed, aka Pro Money, rest in peace. He was like the street dude who went to college, and he had the money. So he had the money and the drive.
Yeah.
I kind of had like the blueprint, and we just came together, and we kicked it off. And I was throwing house parties that was making us like $5,000-$6,000 every weekend. Like, cause I was charging kids $40 to get in, $50 to get in, because they had no other choice. And I was serving liquor, which I shouldn't have, but it it was dope. And I had $1 Million Mano DJing, Cool Kids performing, Hot to Death performing. Like I pretty much became I like organically built this platform for creatives to come, perform. And we did it at a loft over on Halsted and Randolph, right next to our Cheval. And basically, if you was a painter, I would I had homies that painted. So I was like, look, give me $100 a month. I'll put your paintings up in the crib where we throw the parties. People, you can sell your art. So I was just on my hustler mentality. We took the shower and turned that into a coat check. You know what I'm saying? I would go to Costco, buy bottles in bulk, and I would have people buy bottles. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was doing stuff with the clips, like a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm in college doing this, and it kind of like the success from that was kind of like what segued me into music. But I was never trying to be in the music industry at all. It just like God just like, you know what I'm saying, guided me there, and it just
absolutely
figuring it out. Like I think what I'm best at is figuring it out.
Okay.
And whatever situation I'm in at that time, I figure out a way to survive. I figure out a way to thrive. And in that moment of me figuring that out, the things that I do start pushing me in certain directions and start leveling me up. And that's what it's been like, out of necessity, to just figure things out. So
who did you come up with Hustle Simmons, or was that a name that someone was like, hey, I see the way you grind?
Yeah, it was literally like this rapper back in the day came to me. I was working at Adidas, and like I was working at Adidas. I was going to school full time. I was throwing parties. I was throwing concerts. I was doing all this stuff. And this rapper, he was downtown passing out his CDs. And the cool thing about the Adidas store back then, on our at the register, we was allowing people to put their CDs or stickers or stuff that made sense that you can promote them there. And he was coming there passing on his flyers, and he was just like, man, well, you doing parties? You working here full time? You doing it? He like, man, you a hustler, boy. We gonna call you Hustle Simmons. I was like, And I never forgot. I went home that night, and I went on my on my MySpace, and I changed it. And I was like introducing Hustle Simmons, and it stuck.
Yep.
And no one would ever remember my name. I'm like, yo, I'm Terrence. I do this. And they'd be like, oh, okay. What's your name again? But when Hustle Simmons came, it was a whole different ball. Whole different ball. Yeah.
So when did you want to transition? Well, first off, how was that 1 year Adidas party, and who did you book for that?
Oh, so the 1 year anniversary Adidas party is single-handedly the event that changed my life. Like literally, they, we was going to celebrate the 1 year anniversary, and they wanted to get Lupe Fiasco. They wanted to get Timbuktu, rest in peace, to DJ. And
rest in peace.
John Gracie allowed me to kind of spearhead that. And I told him, I was like, look, no disrespect to Timbuktu, that's my dog, but I got a homie that's DJing that I think is gonna blow up. His name is Mano. I think we should do Mano. He was like, all right, cool. And I was like, Lupe's starting to blow up. We can't. Then Lupe used to frequent the store and shop, but I was like, we can't afford Lupe. Like, I was like, but I know somebody that makes sense. So we reached out to Happy and John Monop, and we got a GLC. We had Really Doe. GLC brought Country Black.
Yeah, Rhyme Fest.
Yeah. We had MTV there, and that was the beginning of my negotiating skills, because what I did was, to get liquor, there was a club right down the street called Le Passage, and I went to the manager at the time who used to come in the store, and I was like, look, we're doing this party. If you can give us like a bartender some liquor, then what we would do is, of course, you get your little discount, but we'll have everybody from the party come to your club for the after party.
Yeah.
So that's how I was able to like leverage, and so we got liquor, we got stuff, and it was amazing. The flip side of that was, after it happened, all of Chicago came there. Like, if you ask anybody that's popping right now, you ask them about the Adidas store back then, it was the hangout spot. Like, you was either hanging out at Leaders on when it was on Cottage Grove. You was
Mm-hmm.
hanging out at Fly when it was in Harper's Court, or you was hanging out at the Adidas store when you was downtown. And I didn't get credit for the party. And I can't think of the guy's name, but black gentleman that worked in Portland that used to always come to the store and stuff like that. I was mad. I was just like, bro, like, I don't get my credit. Like, what's up?
Come
Like,
on, you see it.
And he said to me, he was like, well, if you don't like it, start your own company. And I was like, what? And I went home that night, my last like a little $100, $200, and made my first company. Then I started throwing parties under that company, and it like lit that fire under me. And what it showed me was, for a long period of time, is like, I don't want to work for nobody. Like, if that's how you're gonna treat me, because I give people credit where credit's due. If you do a good job, I'm like, yo, you snap, brother. But it was like an ego thing. And so when he did that, it never sat well with me. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll show you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes I wish I crossed his path just so I can thank him for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got no ill will toward dog. It just, he wasn't built to be an entrepreneur. He was good at what he was good at. And so here go this young kid in college trying to get credit for something when it's like, nah, dog, I'm getting this credit because I got to keep my job. I got to go report back to these people. So nah, you the lowest person on the totem pole. So, and I understand, and now I understood it, but at the time I took it as disrespect. So I said, okay, I'll show you. And that event, like, that's what started the fire. You know what I'm saying? I was throwing those parties to pay my tuition. I just, you know what I'm saying? So I could finish school. But that 1 year anniversary was like, oh, yeah, I got this. Yeah, it's on now. Hustle. At that moment, I was like, Hustle Simmons is here, and I'm gonna make Hustle Simmons a household name.
Correct.
And that's when it like all kicked off.
So when did you decide the idea to start Hustle Paloozas?
I was randomly one day in Leaders when it was on Milwaukee and Wicker Park, and the lineup for Lollapalooza had came out. And it was really no hip hop people on there. It was just the only hip hop artist that they had at that particular time was Kanye and Lupe. And I was mad about that. I was just like, what? Like, all these up and coming, you got Wiz Khalifa, like, you got like Currency, like, you got all these up and coming, Wale, Pat Div, like, it was all these up and coming artists. I'm like, so you gonna come to Chicago and you're not gonna mess with the rap scene? You only gonna get those two. So I was joking around with Vic Lloyd, Joe Fresh Goods, my man Terrell. Well, my man Joe, I call him Joe Fresh Goods, but his Joe. I was joking around when I was like, man, I'm gonna create this Hustle Palooza to be like a middle finger to Lollapalooza. And I did a couple of them. They was cool. People was rocking with them because it became the next level from the house parties the loft parties I was known for. And it just like, you know, I just did it at like spiteful toward Lollapalooza, and it just turned into something else. But it was when I took it to South by Southwest when it became what it became. So that was the moment where it shot to the moon. And, you know, I was able to, you know, have a run, a 6-7 year run where I've had like everybody and their mama come through there. So it was definitely fun times. And it wasn't like I was doing it for the money. It was just like, I love doing concerts and I loved having a platform for people. And the whole Hustle Simmons brand the Hustle Simmons brand is not like I'm this cocky dude that want to make it about me. I created the Hustle Simmons brand is for me to collaborate with people and figure out a way for both of us to win. And so with Hustle Palooza, I made it where if you was coming to South by Southwest, or if you was a rapper, singer, whatever, you know for sure if you want to get on stage, you can hit a Hustle Simmons and you can get on the Hustle Palooza. So it was tons of artists that came through there that never blew up, who went on to do other stuff, but they had that moment to try it. And at the time, Kanye was taking off, Lupe was taking off, our music scene was starting to kind of bubble, yet everybody was so focused on Ye. It was nobody that was here on the ground level, like for the people that's inspired by it. And, you know, I was able to go to South by Southwest and bring Freddie Gibbs, you know, LEP,
Action Bronson,
Rocky Fresh, like I mean, Ty Dolla, Tink, like a bunch of people, you know what I'm saying? Hit Boy, I mean, you name it. Like,
the list is endless.
It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? The people that I've had on the Dom Kennedys, like Casey Veggies, like a lot of Mac Miller, rest in peace, like a lot of people. So I was able to do that and start doing festivals like A3C and South by Southwest and CMJ. And you know, and I'm not gonna lie, like that time when stuff was bubbling, it wasn't just me. You know, you had my homegirl Dominique with Leaders of the New Cool. You had who's now, I forgot what label she works at, but she does a lot. She's over the singer JoJo Project, and she's doing a lot of stuff. And then you got Fadia Cater, who her and my boy John Gotti from the Smoking Section, they had the Perfect Attendance brand, and they brought me on. And now Fadia is the person that's over at Instagram Live. I mean, she handles the Instagram Live, Instagram TV, and she's the one that, you know, the bridge between Versus and Instagram, and she's making a lot of great things happen. You know, my man John Gotti is doing a lot of things in the culture and a lot of things in the sneaker world. So it wasn't just me. You know what I'm saying? I was part of a conglomerate of young creators from all over the country, young Black creators from all over the country that we just came together. I was just the most vocal one. And I'm the one who had like the nickname, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those people that, you know, was there. And then during that whole time, I was affiliated with LeBron James and his crew in Cleveland. And that opened up doors for me, you know what I'm saying, as well. And just seeing Rich Paul go from the homie and, you know, a hustler in Cleveland, like, you know, he always had that business sense, but he was like, you know, he was the homie. And to see him now be the most powerful agent in sports, it was just like, I was at the right place at the right time around the right people. And I watched and I listened. And you know, the reason why I quit my job and focused on hustle, like fully on being Hustle Simmons, was because LeBron James, and he probably would never, like next time I see him, I'm going to remind him of this story, but he probably would not remember this. But we was at the Cavs had just played, I want to say OKC, and it might have been Russell Westbrook rookie season, but I just know it was the last season that LeBron was on the Cavs the first time. We went out after the game. So I was part of this conglomerate called 8081. That was a company started by my man Duck and Rich Paul. They started this, like, it was like a marketing company that like was a blog. They were like the first blog, and it was cool. It was a bunch of like creators, but they was all LeBron homies, and I was the only one that wasn't from Ohio. And we went out afterwards, and we went to House of Blues. Mick Boogie was DJing. We went to House of Blues. I remember Shaq was dancing and doing stuff, and we all hanging out. And as much as I was around them, I never really interacted with LeBron that much. It would be like, you know what I'm saying, we see each other dap it up, and it would be like that. But this particular night, he was sitting there eating, I want to say it was some chicken strips. He was in the corner, minding his business. My ass just, you know, sitting down like, what that dog, you know? I was like, man, I missed your birthday. He had just had a birthday too. I was like, man, I missed your birthday party. And I just started like talking, and he was looking like, nigga, leave me the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying? But then in that moment, he said to me, he was just like, I mean, and I don't know if it was him just trying to shut me up and get me away from him or whatever, but he was just like, man, you know, if that's what you want to do in the Hustle Simmons shit, quit your job. And if you quit, and then if you really focus on that, you know, you can't do both. So that's what you want to do. You got to focus get tunnel vision and focus your energy toward that. And when he said it, I'm looking at him like, bro, you worth like $200 million, nigga. You can't tell me to quit my job.
Yeah.
But it stuck with me. And I went back to Chicago. I formed a plan. And I, ended up, quitting the last job that I had. But throughout this whole process of doing these shows, I worked for Ralph Lauren and did marketing with their rugby brand. I worked at Adidas. I worked at Nike. You know what I'm saying? I worked at Bloomingdale's and helped, rebuild their shoe department for men's. Like I had like real job and I was still doing stuff within the fashion realm. But at that moment when LeBron said that, it was on and popping. And then shortly after that, I did an event with him and Jay-Z at Shrine. And that was kind of like, that event put me on as far as Chicago, where nigga was like, oh yeah, this hustle.
I love that you're just casually dropping these LeBron James, Jay-Z's, Ye's, Lupe's, and what I just watching you from afar, it doesn't seem like these people intimidated you.
No.
Or just stopped you from being like, if I saw LeBron in a club, I'd leave that man alone. But you was like, nah, I'm gonna go talk to him. And that goes back to your point of just being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
And then I've noticed one thing, you build relationships. You've built these partnerships and you're loyal to your people.
Yeah.
When did all those partnerships evolve into you becoming a artist manager?
I never thought I would be a manager. And it was a random story. One day a young girl hit me on Facebook and she said, yo, I'm from Ohio. She knew me through Joe Fresh Goods, Terrell, Vic, and all them, because she knew them through like when we were doing all like the hipster parties and stuff, and they would go to Ohio and throw parties. So she knew them and knew them off like MySpace and stuff like that. So she hit me out the blue and was like, yo, I rap. You want to help me and manage me? I'm like, I never managed nobody. I'm just like, what? And then we built a relationship off of that, and I started managing her. But she didn't tell me right away that she actually graduated high school with LeBron. So she is who introduced me to the 80-81 guy. So she was that bridge. This one girl, her name is Ainsley. Like she's doing stuff in music right now too. She lives in New York right now. But this Ainsley Johnson was the person who bridged Ohio, all the cool Ohio people with Chicago. Okay. And if it wasn't for her, the chemistry between us and Cleveland probably wouldn't have been what it was. And she don't get her flowers for that, but she was the one that connected us. And when she did that, I was just like, wow, like you believe in me, or you see something in me where you want me to manage you. And so when I seen that, I just realized that me managing artists was just an extension of me caring about artists already and giving them this shot, I also realized that labels didn't have money for artist development. So Hustlepalooza became the artist development for artists. Like, yo, come on this stage and perfect your shit. And then I just kind of like, got into that. And everything just happened organic. It was not that I was trying to do any of that stuff. It was stuff that people brought to me and I thought I could do it. And I was able to do it pretty well and use relationships. And, my family from the West Side, and my mom and my dad always taught me, like, treat people with kindness, and you never know who you're talking to. So correct. It's like if someone give you a business card, use it, and that's what I just did. I would just meet people and talk to them and keep a rapport. But and I remember idolizing people and or seeing these people that I thought I wanted to kind of do what they was doing. And then when I met them, they was assholes. Or, you know what I'm saying? There's certain people that remain nameless who was popping in music, who I reached out to intern or work for, and they just played me. And so when they played me, I was like, okay, now you're gonna become my prey. It's like, it goes back to when that guy told me, I could get credit for that Adidas event. So if you don't like it, start your own company. So I said, okay. you're going to see me. You're going to know who I am. And both of those people who played me know who I am to this day. And I am spoken in the same breath as them on certain levels of things that they've done in their career. So, you know, that's just how it was. But it's just like talking to someone, looking them in the eyes is just like, it don't take much. You know what I'm saying?
At all.
It takes more energy to be an asshole. It takes more energy to play somebody than it is to just to be kind and talk to them. And I just been fortunate enough to be able to, you know, talk to people and maintain relationships, and they have turned into, you know, bigger and life-changing things. You know, for me to be able to do a party with Jay-Z and LeBron in Chicago at the Shrine on the South Side, like in the South Loop, and LeBron didn't charge, Jay-Z didn't charge. You know what I'm saying? That meant something. And I say that it wasn't all me. It was Rich Paul. Like, that was my partner. You know what I'm saying? We did that event together. And then I had the help of my man Howard, my man Howard, who does a lot of branding and stuff with brands in Chicago, and Joe Russo, who's the owner of Shrine at the time, and you know, a particular liquor brand that remained nameless came aboard, and we just were able to just put it together. But those was all just my ideas that I wanted to see come to fruition. I wanted to do an event called the Blackout because I hated red carpet. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a black carpet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I had the idea, and I flew to Cleveland, and Rich Paul picked me up in his Range Rover Sport, and we went to the mall. And we driving around. I was telling him what I was trying to do, and he was like, "Yo, let's make it happen." And he made some phone calls, you know what I'm saying, on my behalf. I didn't have a relationship with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't Jay-Z, man. Like, I didn't know his camp like that. Rich Paul believed in my idea, and he seen it as an opportunity for our brand. And everything just synced up. It was like it all aligned. It just so happened that, like, Jay-Z announced the Blueprint 3 Part 2 tour, because I was on some of the dates on the first one because I was working with Wale. But the second one, when he had Trey Songz and Jeezy, it just so happens that the concert was the day before Cleveland played the Bulls. And for people who don't know, a lot of time when these big teams come to Chicago, the big cities, they usually stay for a couple of days. So some cities, they come in and out. But a lot of times, especially toward the springtime, you know, teams will come in and get here a day before the game and relax, play the game that day, and then leave the next day. So it just happened to align, and Rich Paul made that happen, man. And Jay-Z walked through those doors, and Jeezy walked through those doors, a Shrine, and it was just like, damn. And then what's so ironic about that, the next day, so that party was over at 2 a.m., and we had the after party that went to 4. I had to catch a 6 a.m. flight to Texas for South by Southwest. And so it was just like everything just happened in order, and it was just like I never looked back. I ran with it. I was like, oh, okay.
That's what we want to do.
You know, I just made a ton of money off LeBron. I'm gone. Like, but it was really all relationships. You know, it wasn't, you know, it was me coming up with concepts and ideas, but I never had a budget. It was always just me selling people on my ideas and getting people to buy into to me and my vision. And you know, I would, you know, Rich Paul is forever in my favor, and LeBron James, like, I don't care. Like, I would fight my mama damn near for LeBron. Like, LeBron just, it means that much to me because that changed my life, and they didn't have to do that. LeBron could have had security escort me away. He didn't have to do that. And he probably would never remember that story, but that goes to show the type of person LeBron is. And I literally watched the stuff happen. I watched all the people around him become bosses. I watched LeBron become this LeBron, like, that people are starting like, oh, LeBron. I was like, yo, he was about that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But nobody wanted to listen to the young kid that's supposed to be the next Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, it was, you know, I've literally, if today I said I would never do no Hustle Simmons stuff, and I was like, you know what, I'm about to go be a bus driver or whatever, I can honestly say that I've done it all, and I've done some amazing stuff, and I'm blessed, and I have no regrets. And, you know, I know I cemented my legacy in definitely the Chicago culture, but in culture
For
period
sure.
and music to those who really know. And you know, the masses might not know, certain people might not know, but for those that was moving and shaking, like, you know what I'm saying, I was in the thick of things with, I was in the trenches with a lot of these artists that people consider legends today. So
And that speaks to you. You were talking about how people are just authentic and genuine, and the celebrity never really got to you. I remember just watching videos of you on YouTube, and I just so happened to be working on this production show, and I saw you at Crane High School during some East versus West celebrity charity game, and I'm like, yo, that's Hustle Simmons, and I wasn't supposed to do this, but I walked up to him like, yo, man, I'm a fan of
yeah,
your movement, and you could have simply said, nah, get away from me, whatever. Like some people do that.
yeah,
Some people are assholes in real life, but you was like, no, let's get a picture. And the person that took the picture was like, no, smile. And you took like 3 or 4 pictures of smile. I'm like, all right, man. There's that smile. He said,
yeah,
and I realized I'm like, yo, you could be working with these big names. You could do all this amazing stuff, but still come back to your hometown to a local event and still shake hands with people who are fans. Because I'm a
yeah,
genuine fan. I'm like, all right, I look up to you. Seeing someone that someone idolize, like, yo, that's Hustle Simmons. He's been doing it. I want to
mm,
shake that man's hand. And you shook my hand and took a couple of pictures with me. And I'm like, that's a solid dude.
yeah.
I'm gonna forever support him. And speaking of support, you've been down with Rocky Fresh since
Day one.
day
That's my
one.
that's my brother.
How has
I knew him.
that?
I met him before he rapped.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've known Rocky since he was 17, 17,
Wow.
18. Yeah. Hey,
So is he?
going back to what one quick second, that interaction between you and I we first met, I've been in that position when I went to someone and said like, yo, and they played me and I was
Yeah.
crushed. And it's like, bro, what gives me the right to play? What gives you the right to play me? Bro, if I'm one of the people that support what you got going on and I probably would never see you again, I just want to take this moment to let you know what you meant to me and you played me. And so for me, I don't look at myself as a celebrity. I do what I do. I'm still a West Side kid. From Chicago,
Yeah.
I'll still be around.
Yeah.
And so for anybody that could take the time out of their day to pay attention to something I have going on or to thank me, I don't care if I got the flu, I'm in the worst mood, I'm going to thank them. I'm going to take that moment because you never know who you're talking to. And it's going to become that day where I'm not hot and that person ain't hot no more. And you don't want one of the people that support you be like, I'm not fucking with him. Like that'll turn people off. And you know, people say never meet your idols and stuff like that. That's real. I had people that idolize that shitted on me. And I just like, all right, I'm on your ass now. But let's just say if I wasn't in that position, I would just never support their music. I would never support anything they got going on. And that's not what you're supposed to do. So like I said, anybody that finds inspiration in something that I'm doing, it means a lot because I did not set out to do that to like necessarily to impress people. It just became natural and became part of my DNA. So yeah, for you to walk up to me and say that, and especially black man to black man, because you know how we are with our egos and stuff.
Yeah.
You to come look me in the eye and tell me, yo, I really watch what you got going on. Yo, I got you. Thank you. Because it's a lot of people who they like what I'm doing, but they don't want to say it. That's Terrence, man. Well, I can do that. And it's like, all right, fam, if you can do it, then do it. But the fact that you did that, it actually shows type of character that you have. You know what I'm saying? And I've been there and I still do it. I've been in rooms that people wouldn't believe, like the people that I'm surrounded by. And yet I rock with what you're doing. yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Yo, that last song you did was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I built a strong relationship with Chris Brown because of Rocky Fresh, because him and Rocky Fresh is real tight. And Chris Brown and his whole squad have a high respect for me, like I have a high respect for them, because when we're around each other, I'm not looking at him like, oh my God, it's Chris Brown. That's Brown. That's breezy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I still understand that this man is one of the GOATs. So it's like, yeah, we cool, but hey, my nigga, you one of the coaches to do this. Like, I'm just gonna let you know. And he respect that. And I think Black men and just young Black creators, we got to give each other our flowers while we there. And also who knows who you talking to. You know, you can help me make more money. I don't know what you're doing at the time. Like, I don't know what you're doing. You might have a product or something that can change my life. Why would I play you? You know what I'm saying? You know, you got this platform, like, and your podcast is going to continue to grow. And it might become God willing, it might become the biggest podcast in the world. Let's just say if I would have played you. You know, now I need your podcast or something. Oh, I'm not rocking with Hustle. He played me when I see them at a basketball game with his dusty ass. Nah, it's about you gotta be.
You a real Chicago nigga.
Yeah, like, bro, you know how people be like, you're so dope, beating that ass. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just that's just how it is, just being 100. But going back to, you know, the Rocky Fresh thing, you know, that's my brother, dog. Like that's I'm riding with him to the wheels, you know, fall out, whether we work together or not. And we had a period where we didn't, you know, work together, but the respect for each other's always been there. And I've been in the trenches with Dog. A lot of my shows, the Hustle Paloozas that people know me for, he was a part of that. He was on those shows. And, you know, him and I relate because, you know, to Chicago, they might look at us and say, I mean, I see what Hustle doing, but, you know, Hustle cool. Oh yeah, I like Rocky music. Rocky doing something, but Rocky ain't he ain't doing what, you know, the baby is doing, or Hustle ain't out here doing what this person is doing. And it's like, little do you know who we around. You know what I'm saying? We hang with the John Mayers, the Ed Sheerans, you know what I'm saying? Like, your favorite basketball players love both of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be in the trenches. We be with some of the biggest, most powerful. Like, no one would have thought Rocky would have signed to MMG. And MMG was the highest level. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's just how we move. And I think Rocky Fresh lyrically is one of the best that ever came out of Chicago, and people don't give him his credit. And I'm not just saying it because that's my brother. I work with a lot of artists, but that man could rap his ass off. Now, as far as like, you know, where the music stands today, as far as like what people are into and stuff like that, he could rap with anybody. He might not be, as far as his popularity, might not be where people will want it to be, but that man lives good. He's been rapping for 10 years, making money off.
I was about to say, he's been around for a long time.
Wow, and there's not a lot of people that can say, "Oh, I've been getting rap checks for 10 years."
Correct.
So for him to still be in it, and for us to still be working, our formula is working. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, he has numerous records with Chris Brown. Chris Brown ain't never charged us. We got shit with Hit Boy. Hit Boy never charged us. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got records with Nipsey. Nipsey was our family. Like, we really been around some legends, but it's because of our hard work and us being real people. And that's why when Rocky is around some of these big artists, Rocky has been around Hov and talked about, you know, fatherhood. Like, the industry, the legends respect Rocky. Like, Rocky is that guy. You know what I'm saying? And I've been fortunate enough to get into some rooms that I probably would have never got in if I wasn't working with Rocky and managing Rocky. And, you know, it ain't just me. You know what I'm saying? He has another manager, my man Gertler, and his other manager, my brother Gertler, manages Shawn Mendes, who's one of the biggest artists in the world. Shawn Mendes was on Forbes. You know what I'm saying? So we really got some powerful people around us, and we got some real people around us. And like, you know, I'm very proud of what Rocky and I have been able to accomplish. And I'm just proud of the fact that people can see like our history and we still
Yeah.
in it because you see so many times.
Longevity is the goal.
Yeah, you see people that like started together and don't end it together, and we still in it. And now we're fathers. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's just like, you know, we got families now, we got homes now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we still in it, and you know, we went from being in Toyota Corollas and raggedy ass little cars, and not knocking Toyota Corolla, but that's what I had at the time.
Nothing wrong with it.
It's like
I had a RAV4.
I fucking RAV4s, you know what I'm saying? Like I did a campaign with them. Like shout out to the RAV4s. But you know, we went from being in those type of cars and like listening to demos on CDs and dreaming about certain stuff to now, you know, hopping out of BMWs, fucking Rolls Royces and Lambos, off of our talent and off of our hustle, not no legal stuff, not nothing illegal or nothing goofy, but our hard work. And you know, I can't stress enough the importance of just believing in self and betting on self, no matter what.
Betting on yourself.
Whatever the goal is. And like I say all the time, I'm like, if right now I had to step in the boxing ring and fight Floyd Mayweather, I'm putting my money on myself. That nigga might knock me out, but guess what? I might knock his ass out too. That's just how I'm wired. And when people hear me say that, they think, are you crazy? I said, no. If you go into anything thinking you're gonna lose, you already lost. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like what are we talking about? You think Michael Jordan went into games thinking he's gonna lose?
That's what he said in the documentary. He said, when I shoot the shot, I see it going in.
Yeah.
I don't see me missing.
And I'm the same way. Like you gotta have that you have to have that mentality, and especially nowadays with social media, because everybody trying to tear each other down and compare each other. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's how I am. I'm just like, yo, if I got to play Michael Jordan one-on-one, I'm betting on myself. Fuck Michael Jordan. Hustle got this. But that's how I'm wired. That's how I've been able to survive. That's what it's about. Being in entertainment, it's about survival.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to survive. I've been able to not lose myself in this. I've been able to make money to take care of my family and create a lifestyle that I wanted for myself. And it's because of that, how I'm wired. And all I've ever wanted to do is, you know, be that person from Chicago where the next person say, okay, we can do this. We don't have to move to LA to make it. We don't have to move to New York to make it. The same way when Andre 3000 stepped on the Source Awards stage and said, you know, we the South, we got something to say. And look what happened. The South hasn't looked back yet. I feel the same way. And I want us to stop dimming each other light and clipping each other wings. And I want us to like look at people like, you know what I'm saying, myself and, you know, Rocky and my man Peter Pan and Manager Chief Keef. And, you know, we got all these creative fashion people. We got all these dope people. Even Derrick Rose. Like Derrick Rose is the epitome of a Chicagoan.
Correct.
We got our super ups and we got our super lows. Yet you maintain, and he's still in it. He's about his family. He's still getting money,
and he's respected.
And he's respected.
And he is respected.
And this is the thing. He put fear in people because he was really that dude. That's what we have. Like we have that DNA as a city to really run shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like we have to band together and put the city over the personal shit. And I just always just someone says like if there's a million people doing bogus business in Chicago, Hustle Simmons was doing right by people, and he did right in the industry. His karma was right. And I take pride in that, and I want to continue to do that, and I want to continue to teach and make 10 other Hustle Simmons even colder than me to keep this going when I'm not here anymore. So my goals and what I aspire to be is just different than a lot of people.
And that's what I was going to ask you. What does success look like for you? And have you reached it?
I reached the first level of it in my eyes. I think success is doing something you love and getting paid for it. Mm. And what I do, I would do it for free. That's how much I love it, but I get paid for it. and I'm able to take care of my family. That's the biggest thing. It ain't about how expensive your car is and stuff like that. Like I'm able to make sure my family, you know what I'm saying, is good, and that's what it's all about. Now, the second level of success for me is going to that next level financially, and not just financially, but financially and as far as like my circle and my connects, where I can go to the next level and build this network of wealth and this network of power, where we can really change the narrative of what Chicago is and what people think of Chicago. And that's what I'm working on, you know what I'm saying, now. And
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, for me, success is, like I said, doing what you love every day and not having no regrets and being able to take care of your family. And I do that. And I remember my homies co-signing too, the interns, their motto was design your life. And when I heard that, I said, oh, that's real. And I've designed my life to how I want, you know what I'm saying? Like I wake up, check my phone, check my, you know, my email. And if I want to, I go hop on my motorcycle and do wheelies down the block. And if I want to come back,
he does do that, people. He definitely does.
I can go in the backyard. And smoke me a blunt by the fire pit, watch TV and watch the game in the backyard. And if I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I really like my life is how I wanted it to be. And it's a lot of sacrifice, but you know what I'm saying? I've finally gotten there, and now I'm just trying to like even take it to the next level and bring more people with me. Even though everybody can't come with you, but you can at least reach back and just say like, yo, all right, come on. You can either ride my coattails and we're gonna do it, or you're not. But I've never not shared the plug. Just because I give you the plug don't mean you're gonna do the same thing with the plug I do with the plug. But I hate people who like, you know, don't want to share the plug or want to do this. And it's like, look, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what nobody tell me. I'm a gatekeeper to Chicago, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying I'm the only one, but I'm a gatekeeper. And I understand that responsibility. And I think for the most part, I handle it with, I do the best that I can at making sure people can come rock with Chicago and not take advantage of Chicago or play Chicago. And I was at a point where labels was paying me to bring to them the next upcoming street rapper. And I was making money off that. And it got to a point where I'm like, hold on. Now you're starting to take advantage of these kids.
Correct.
I can't get down with that. You can keep that money. I'm cool. Because it's not, you're just taking advantage. Oh, he got some guns in the video. You know, he can sell 1 million records. Let's just throw some money in his hand and let him like pretty much ruin himself because he don't know no better. Nah, I'm not about to be a part of that. So that would make me even go harder as a manager too, as far as like, you know.
And is that where Watershed? Is that why Watershed was created?
Partially, and it became a lot of these brands. You know, a lot of these brands want to tap into the hip hop culture. They want to market.
They need it.
They need it because we got the strongest spending power. We're keeping the world turning. You know what I'm saying? We just powerful.
Correct.
However, it's about doing it in the right way. And what I started noticing was I was getting these checks to like post little stuff on my Instagram and my Twitter, and I'm like, this is corny as hell. And it was coming across like I'm only doing it for a check. So how I looked at it was, I was like, if brand A is paying me $3,000 to tweet this message, then somebody got $30,000 to make this message, and then somebody got $300,000 to go find a person to create this. It was like, I was just like, whoa. So I started seeing that, and I felt like I was hitting a ceiling as far as where I can go with brands, because there's only so much that Hustle Simmons can do, and they only looked at me as talent. Mm-hmm. On the other end of that is what I started noticing is being an artist manager. When people are up and coming and people are struggling and you're in the trenches with them, everything is cool. Mm-hmm. When they make it and they get that check, they get that opportunity. I started seeing artists and people jump ship and go find a white boy. And I'm not knocking it, but it was just weighing on me. It's like, wait a minute. We staying 8 people to one hotel room because we on tour and we don't got no money. And I'm okay then. I'm okay to carry your bags. I'm okay to we getting it. But now that we gotten it to that level, you got the check. Now I'm just a minion. And now, nah. So I said, I'm gonna create my own agency to help creatives connect with corporate America, but also something where I can help everybody. I can go sit down with Apple and say, hey, this is the correct way if you want to get our people to rock with something that you got going on, even though they Apple. Yeah. But it's just like it's only so much you can do as yourself. But when you have that brick and mortar behind you, you have that brand behind you, that takes it up a notch. And you know, you just gotta do it. LeBron wanted to get into film. There's only so much you can do just as LeBron. But LeBron had to create Spring Hill and had to go make projects to give it that validity. And from Watershed, I've been able to work with Mountain Dew. I've been able to work with Martell, Rocky Fresh. You got artists like, we help set up. I don't know if you remember when Chance the Rapper was on the cover of Ebony. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my homegirl Adrian that made that happen. Like, we were able to kind of like facilitate that and middleman that. So it's a lot of things going on in the culture and going on in the city that we are behind. And I say we.
The bridge. You're the bridge.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's a lot of things that we're doing that we're not. Hey guys, it's Watershed. It's just like, yo, I'm gonna continue to make those things happen. And if certain things gonna come out that I did it, people know, cool. But if they don't, it ain't about that. It's just it's about me utilizing my platform the best way I can, because there's been people that had way bigger platforms who didn't do their just due. They kind of like, they were being monkeys in the situation. Like, nah, like you got this platform, you gotta put people on, you gotta stand for something. And right now, with the way the world is going, I've been very vocal on my social media talking about what's really going on out there, even if it's ruffling the feathers of these brands that I work with. But they know hustle, I'm having those conversations, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, yeah, I know y'all cut me a check, but hey, maybe instead of spending your money here, there, and the third, maybe you need to, bring some more Black people up through the ranks. Don't sit up there and text me all day talking about, oh my God, I feel bad for you guys, I'm riding with y'all. No, text your people that don't believe in that and tell them that you riding with me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, just using my platform to the best of my ability, and I'm just gonna keep doing that. And I live every day like it's my last. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and that's how I go, man. Like, just you got to make it happen. This podcast been your idea for years, and you watched other people do it. Now it's your time. So now you got to use the fact that you have the access that you have, and you got to run with it. You can't pull no punches, and you got to find that balance, and you got to be able to say, hey, you know what? I don't want to have my shit look like Breakfast Club. I'm not here to talk about the nonsense. Not saying that's already talked about, but I'm not here to trigger you. I really want to know how you got to where you are. I want to know like the real of the real. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that, people like Nardwar, like they say he's weird, but if you look at his interviews,
he's not weird to me.
He's not weird to me, but you see people be like that. But if you look at his interviews, people respect it because like you did your research. You found things that made me who I am that the world don't know about nor care about. And you found out however you be finding out. And everybody leaves smiling because he knows how to trigger the good thing. He knows how to break that your why. And that moment you figured it out. And we need more stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So when I see, brothers like yourself, with a podcast and they reach out, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see you win, because podcast is going to change the narrative of a lot of things, because it's not mandated by the Clear Channels of the world. This is what you want to talk about. You can talk about bubble gum and motorcycles all goddamn day long. There's somebody out there that cares about motorcycles and bubble gum who don't want to know who's fucking Black China. And you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just try to enjoy this shit, man. Take it a day at a time. And I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed to even be in a position where people like yourself respect what I've done and want to take time out of their day to even talk to me about what I've done. And if one person sees this and it lit a fire in them to change their life, then we did.
That's the point.
What to do. So.
And thank you for those kind words, man. I truly do appreciate that. And you definitely put the work in, and you should get your roses as well. And this is my way of reaching out to,
I said, I do get my rose. I'll be bound with my damn self.
Hey, sometimes you got to do that, man. You got to remind yourself who you are and what you did.
You did your thing, nigga. You was this close to working at Chuck E. Cheese for the rest of your life, but you did your damn thing. You know, you gotta be like that. But no, I appreciate any compliments people give me. Any time that if you take it any time out your day to pay attention to a party of mine, attend a party of mine, anything I got to say, if you read my tweets and don't block me and don't unfollow me, and it does something, whether. And that's what I'm saying. Like when I say shit, I'm wrong a lot of times. My thing is I just want to create the conversation. And if I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? Tell me, teach me.
How has a person like yourself adapted, which is something that you're good at? How have you adapted to this pandemic?
One, realizing that this shit's real. Two, being honest with myself to know like that the one thing about this pandemic is it's leveled the playing field. It don't matter how much money you got. It don't matter how famous you are. It's affecting everybody.
Everybody.
LeBron James was being a nappy headed and having to be stuck in his crib the same way I had to be stuck in my crib. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I freaked out at first, like everybody else. I was like, whoa. You know, I was looking at like a certain opportunities going to be lost. I lost some opportunities. But I had to go back to why I started doing what I was doing. And I had to think about like, I remember where I was at when September 11th happened. I remember where I was at when the market crashed and, you know, we almost lost our house and shit happened. And so with what was going on, I started calling and reaching out to people, my peers, and by them echoing what I was saying, like, oh, we all in the same boat, I started kind of just finding certain things. So I went back to that connecting portion of my life, and I said, okay, if people know me for the Hustle Paloozas, people know me for connecting people, I can still do that. And I built my career on social media anyway. So now it's like, how do I pivot? And what I started doing was taking the things that I was about and just started kind of like just pivoting toward virtual stuff and getting the brands that I work with. And shout out to Martell for believing in my vision. And you know, everybody talking about the club and, you know, everybody's talking about the club and like all that stuff. And so I was like, damn, you know what? You know, people was like, oh shit, bottle service, hustle, we gotta get back to the club. And I was like, So I went to Martell, I said, yo, I got an idea. What if we started, you know, sending bottle service to people's homes and have virtual day parties? And shout out to my man, Charles Protege, you know what I'm saying? And his team, like.
Amazing DJ.
Yeah, amazing DJ, amazing person, you know, father, husband, like, you know, and I had this idea and Martell believed in it. And during the pandemic, we kept, you know, saying people, you know, entertained, but also I understood that like for that hour or so we were throwing a party, people forgot about their problems, but what was going to happen once we ended that live. And what I did was I created Club Zoom, and Club Zoom was a party that I created on Zoom where I just had all my friends and people just come in their house, be on Zoom, and we literally just talked about whatever we was talking about and vibing with each other because we couldn't be in each other, face. So humans, we need that human interaction. So certain people was like losing their mind, not being around people. So I just, just adapted, and I made it about the people, not about myself. And I was just able to get through it. But hearing my peers talk about the stuff that they're going through, that helped me. And then just really finding the silver lining and saying like, okay, if my black ass got to sit down, everybody else got to sit down. So take this time to get right with yourself. Take this time to pick up a book. Take this time to do all the stuff that you haven't had time. And I've been able to read books. I've been able to get some business ventures off the ground. You know what I'm saying? I've been able to, grow and connect more with my family and my loved ones. You know what I'm saying? With my daughter. And, I took that time to kind of learn something about myself, because when things is moving fast, it's easy to make excuses. So it was like, okay, I'm sitting down, I'm processing this. Why not? All right, if it don't work, then shit. All right, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just like it took this for you to kind of like really say, all right, let me do this. And now, it's gonna continue to grow, and you're gonna look back at this and be like, damn, I could have did this years ago, but fuck it. Everything comes in time, and it took a pandemic to do it. And you're able to perfect it right now because you got the time with people sitting down. So when the world opens back up and things is fast moving, you're gonna be able to adapt, and you're gonna have your process. Like you're gonna have it down packed, and you're gonna be able to run it up. So I made it through by just like not lying to myself about what's really going on in the world, and knowing that it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be uncertain. It's okay to, understand that like, oh shit, my money's being affected. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real, So that's what I had to do. I just had to be real with myself, and it worked out.
Man, you dropping gems, man. You really are. Like I'm just sitting here and I'm taking notes. Yeah, like, all right, he said that. So I want to talk about some hip hop real quick.
Okay.
What's your favorite Clips album?
Hell Hath No Fury.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. They went crazy on that. They went crazy.
That was, Lord willing though, that was like the second or third album that I bought with my own money.
Wow.
And I remember opening the book and be like, is that Jesus? Like it. Yeah. And I know that you're a big, not only Clips fan, but Pusha T.
I love, and people don't know how much I love Pusha T because of now in the climate of hip hop, his beef with Drake, and I'm a huge Drake fan. But the clip, first of all, me and Pusha T has the same name, so absolutely. Yeah. But
there you go.
The grittiness, like I have a close relationship with the state of Virginia, and I just when the clips came out, it was just like whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like when I seen the clip for the first time, it gave me that same feeling when I seen Wu-Tang for the first time. It was like, yo, that's crazy. So I love the clips. I've been able to work with the Clips a few times. I've been able to work with Pusha T on a couple things. I've been fortunate enough to work with Malice and like really talk to him and let him know how I felt, buy his book and like stuff like that. So yeah, Hell Hath No Fury, like Hell Hath No Fury was probably the album that really made me realize that the Clips is like the shit, and the Clips is people don't get a Clips Day credit, man. I know they went their seven ways, but
have they never heard a Re-Up Gang mixtape? Like, come on.
I mean, a lot of people just like, don't be doing. They just don't. They don't they don't just know the real. You know what I'm saying? Like they just had some lyrics that was really like profound in my life. And
you walk with a glow, it's like the Lord shown favor. That's you right there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the what's the shit? Times are wasted, niggas doing so much hating.
Hello New World.
I like you had to come from up under the basement, just like you.
Yeah.
Had Satan
Hello New World.
Did I still you look at me through jealous eyes? I wish to see all my niggas rise up.
Niggas rise up.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like when I heard that was real, because that's how I think. Yeah. I'm like, yo,
even you just saying that now, it hits
you niggas. I came up like I am the epitome of getting out the mud. I ain't never had no financial backing. Like outside of me and my boy Ed coming together and doing it collectively, I ain't never had a big bag behind me. You know what I'm saying? I went and got those brands to rock with me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was selling my books in college to pay for those parties, to pay those DJs. So I sacrificed, you know what I'm saying? So the clips, that was I watched, like to see Pusha T now and see where he started, cool. I rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Now there's some things he do that I'm like, but I get the business side of it. That's what people don't understand. I'm a hip hop fan, but I'm also in it. So it's two levels to this. You know what I'm saying? Drake is Teflon. I don't care what nobody want to say. Drake is in the conversation of the greats. Like you gotta say it. It's just like you just gotta say what it is. And numbers don't lie and what he's been able to do. So I mean, I'm always gonna be a Clip fan. I'm a Wu-Tang fan. I'm a huge Pac fan. I mean, I think Jay-Z is the greatest. Kanye does things that I sometimes don't agree with, but if it's not for Kanye, I don't have my career. If it wasn't for Kanye getting on, that door wouldn't have cracked open for us to even do what we do. For the fake short drives to tell the story, the hustle Simmons, the hustle losers to tell the story, the hustle periods to tell the story, and so forth and so on. So it's just like, yo, Kanye, we might not understand where Kanye coming from, but we got to always hold that brother down because he opened up those doors for us. And it's just like, you might think he's tweaking, but it's just like when you genius level, I mean, we support niggas who never did nothing for nobody, but we support them because it's cool. So it's just like we so quick to turn our backs on our own people. Chicagoans, period. We're so quick to, he's an op, or we ain't rocking with him, but we won't never turn our back on that New York dude, that LA dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm not gonna turn our backs on Ye. We can't get Ye to do what we want Ye to do. Ye doing what he's doing.
Exactly.
But how you not inspired by seeing bro become a billionaire from the crib? Like what? We got a whole billionaire from Chicago. Like how can you not be proud or inspired by that? And then in all actuality, he saved Pusha T. He gave Pusha T that second life, bringing him over to good music when it was kind of like, what's going to happen with it? And now look at Pusha T working with brands. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what he's doing.
He wrote the McDonald's jingle.
You feel me? Like, like us Chicagoans, like we birth so much stuff and we a part of so much stuff. And it's just like I tell people all the time, like, okay, New York might do something first. But when we do it on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like, and it's just what it is. Like at the end of the day, say what you want. I don't know many people that can out rap Lupe. Lyrically, he's from another planet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, Kanye, what Kanye has done for fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like Derrick Rose. Like we got so many people. You know, Chief Keef. Look at all the artists that he's birthed. You know, exactly. Rocky Fresh opened up the door, and people don't give Rocky his credit. At the time when Rocky got his deal, drill was like the new phenomenon. You had King Louis,
You
you
had
had
King Louis.
you know what I'm saying?
Katie.
You had a lot of, you had, our nigga YP. You had a lot of like our street rappers and stuff, and the drill rappers going crazy. Rocky kicked open that door for the other artists. You know what I'm saying? Like
the Chances and the Lupes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Lupe was like, I'm from the hood, but I like anime and I'm different. So he was that.
Yeah.
Rocky was like, I like rock and roll. I like pop music. I like vape. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen to Avril Lavigne and I would turn around and listen to Carter too. You know what I'm saying? And when he kicked open that door with MMG and people didn't understand what was going on, but Ross knew what it was. Ross was like, I got the streets.
Yeah.
I got the streets on lock, but I don't have the white kids on the colleges. I don't have that. And Rocky has that. And that's what he's seen in him. Because he could have grabbed Chief Keef. He could have grabbed Audie Street, but he said, I had that. And it's just one of those things where, like, we got a lot of people that has created some amazing things from the city, and we need to continue to inspire for that, and we need to give each other, you know what I'm saying, those flowers. Like, I mean, damn, if you look at music, Quincy Jones is from here. He's on Mount Rushmore music. You know what I'm saying? If you think about sports, Coach K is from here, regarded as one of the greatest coaches. We have so many people from here that just went on to just change the landscape of things that we need to understand that shit, and we need to carry that flag the same way that New York carry that flag for everybody coming out of New York, and the way LA carry their flag and down south carry our flag. Like, we got to rally behind our people. We need to rally behind your podcast. We need to rally behind the Hustle Simmons. We need to rally around the Joe Fresh Goods and the Vic Lloyds and the Fred Tigers. Like, because the world knows what it is.
Yeah. But
they just watch and say, okay, if y'all ain't gonna honor, we gonna take y'all shit and run with it. And it just, look at what Virgil's doing with Louis Vuitton. Like, the flavor that he got, Don C. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Lorenzo got a lot of his flavor when he came to Chicago, and his dad was coaching the White Sox, and he was hanging around, you know what I'm saying, the cool niggas. Not knocking, dog, but it is what the fuck it is. Like, a lot of niggas come to Chicago and get some sauce. But we saucy ass people. We just don't know it. We the really beautiful chick who's a hoe. Why we horn ourselves out? We don't have to do that. We can have any person we want, but that's just what we are.
Yeah, I got you. I feel like that's a good ending point.
Motherfuckers gonna be mad at that statement. I don't give a fuck. That's what it is.
It is what it is.
In the words of my little cousin, pee it.
But all right, man. Truly, thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for taking the time out. You keep going, and I'm gonna keep on going.
Yeah, bro. Right. Like, this ain't gonna be the last time we have this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, sir.
Like what Dre said, I'll check back in next year to give you a summary. Like, I'm gonna keep checking in with you and just keep updating.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna get to a point where I'm gonna hit you up. You're gonna be like, hit my assistant. I'm gonna be like, my nigga. Energy.
That's been another episode of HomeGrown The Series. I hope you took something away from this. I'm your host, Emmanuel Davis, and I had the pleasure of speaking with Culture. He's a culture manager. He's a bridge. He is our Black Godfather. He's going to get a Netflix documentary in 10 years. I guarantee it. Appreciate you, Hustle, man.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Thanks, G.
All right, bro.